Hey guys, it's Miss Cashin. I'm trying out something a little bit different today, just because it was getting kind of tricky to hold the camera and show you my work and keep going back and forth to posters. So we will see how this goes. Excuse me. First of all, if you hear any loud noises, I am very sorry. There is a lot of construction happening right below my apartment, and there's been drilling and just hammering and crazy loud stuff all day. So I'm so sorry if it gets tricky to hear me because of all of that. Second, I'm really excited about today's lesson, but before we can start that, we have to start with the word of the day. Get ready. Word of the day. 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 Ooh, as a quick reminder, you should have your pencil and your word study packet, and you should be on your Wednesday 325 page. Okay, let's take a look at the word of the day for today. It's on a sentence on your screen. It says, the flashlight illuminated the cave. Based on what you see here, what do you think illuminated means? What does it mean to illuminate something? Take a second, write down your best guess with your pencil somewhere in your packet. All right. So hopefully you have your best guess written down. The flashlight illuminated the cave. What do you think illuminate means? It means to light up. Illuminate. Let's see if you can see this. Oh, nice. And illuminate means to light up or decorate. So you could say a flash of lightning illuminated the house. You could say the decorations illuminated the book. And that would mean to decorate or to light up. Usually it's just used to decorate. I'm so sorry. Usually it's just used to talk about lighting something up. Okay. We will return to that later. Let's move on to our lesson of the day, which is all about homophones. A lot of you guys, actually, most of you did a lot of these words in first grade, but I wanted to go through and review them first. Homophones are words that sound the same, but they mean different things, and they're also spelled differently. And if you're in Cornell, you probably already have a lot of kind of funky ways to remember what which word is correct for which context. But if you're not in Cornell, you're about to hear all of the weird miscastion ways to memorize these words right now. Okay, first, lock in your brain. A homophone is a word that sounds the same, means something different. You can go ahead and think about that right now. You might have a couple in your brain already, but let's just jump in. Homophones are kind of the type of thing where you just really need to memorize them. It's not really a concept like a noun or a verb that you need to think about. It's just something you need to memorize, or else your writing will be incorrect, even if you did use the right word and it sounds right. It needs to be spelled correctly. All right, the first one we're going to look at is ate and ate. If you ate something, then you ate a big sandwich. Like that's eating. But if you want to say how old you are, you use the EIGHT. And I remember this by singing the song. My age is EIGHT. And that's how I remember which one is spelled EIGHT and which one is ATE. Remember, to figure out the number, you can sing to yourself, my age is EIGHT. And that tells me that the number 8 is spelled like that. And then the other 8, which is just eating, is ATE. Let's move on to the next one. B and B. If I'm going to talk about how fun something is going to be, it's just BE. It's a two-letter word, super easy. For example, I can't wait to be back in school, which is really cute. But if you're talking about an animal that buzzes or can sting, it's BEE. And the way I think about that is by thinking about a bee buzzing. If you stretch it out, it's easier to remember that bee, like the animal, has two E's, like a bee buzzing. So now you have locked into your brain. EIGHT is your age, and BEE is buzzing. All right, the next one is I and I. When we're talking about ourselves, it's just I. That was probably one of the first sight words you use in kindergarten. But if you're talking about this and looking or seeing, it's E-Y-E. And the way I remember that is I have two I's and the word I has two E's. E-Y-E. That's the word I. New and new. If I want to get a new car, it's the word new, like N-E-W. If it's something I'm talking about something that I already knew, it's you have to use a K. For example, I always knew this is going to be hard instead of, oh, this is brand new. If it's something you know in your brain, you need an extra letter, you need a K. So if it's knowing, and this actually goes on to the next one. If you want to say no, thank you, you just say NO. But if it's something about your brain, you have to use that extra letter. You have to use the extra K. So K-N-E-W is something you already knew in your brain. And no, K-N-O-W is something that you have in your head now. So make sure that you remember to lock in that K. If it's talking about something with your brain, you need the extra letter. You need the K. New with K-N-E-W is something you know in your brain. No is also something you know with your brain. But if you just want to say no thanks, it's N-O says no, which you already knew. And if you're talking about something brand new, it's A-W. All right, we got three more. Red and red. So for the color red, just R-E-D. And if it's something that you want to read or that you've already read, that's tricky because read and read are spelled differently. Like I want to read this book versus I already read this book. You need to add E-A-D. So if it's read, you can remember that from just Sneaky E makes about say its name. E-A says E, R-E-A-D. That is read, but it's also red. That's really tricky. It's just something you need to lock in your brain. Blue and blue. This is a funny one because the way I think about it, well, B-L-U-E is the color blue. Like, what is blue in here? The cover of my book. And then the way I think about it is like, ew, you blew out all your candles. So I remember that if I blew something out, it needs to have EW. So if it's like, I blew out all my birthday candles, you need the EW. And I think about that like this. Ew, you blew out all your candles because sometimes when little kids blow out their candles, like, and so if you're EW, which is ew, needs to be in there. So BLEW is to blow something out, and BLUE is the color. All right, now dear and dear. This is one that grown-ups sometimes mess up. So you guys are going to be super smart and remember this one. If I am talking about an animal, then my word needs to have two E's because this is where you get to the weird Miss Cashin thing way to memorize things. Because deer have two I's. So the word deer has to have two E's. D-E-E-R. That's the animal, deer. But if I want to say, oh, dear, or if I want to write a letter, like Dear Mr. Scott, I need to use D-E-A-R. Remember, deer have two I's. So the word dear has to have two E's. That's how you separate the animal versus saying like, oh, my dear, or writing a letter with D-E-A-R. All right, that was a lot. Hopefully that was all review for you. And if you forget along the way, that is okay. We're also going to be working on some tricky ones today where you might not actually know the new homophones, and that is okay. We'll talk it through, but you just need to give it your best shot as we go, and I will give you the right answer in the end. Okay, turn your packet to this page. Wow, it is so hard to see. Sorry, it's really, really bright out. Just turn to the next page. You should see the same thing on the screen. So we are going to be circling the right answers today. We'll see if I can use my pen. I'll make it purple to circle my answers. All right, let's jump in. I like to write in my journal each day. I think that's right or right. Take a second to circle your answer. Well, I know that the right here, the second one, is talking about where, like a direction, like left or right. Let me see. In that sentence, Do I want to left or right in my journal? No. I want to write like the bird. So it's going to be WRITE. Number 2, she made a wish and blew hard. We just talked about that. See if you can figure it out in your head. All right, go ahead and circle your answer. Remember, ew, she blew out all her candles. BLEW. My soccer team won the game today. Which one is it? Well, I know that this looks like the number 1. Number 1 the game today? That doesn't make sense. It must be WON, like winning. There's only one more week left. Week or week? If we're talking about a passage of time, it's WEEK. The other week means not strong. I had a large piece of pumpkin pie. Well, this piece looks like the type of piece we want to have in the world, and this piece looks like a slice. So what makes more sense? This piece. Let's weigh the marbles using the scale. Let's see. It's going to be WEIGH. That's talking about a type of weight. The other one is like, oh, which way should I go? Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to scroll down. Hang on, guys. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully that worked and you can see my work again. I'm still learning how to use this, so thank you for your patience. Okay, number 7 says close one eye and read the chart. Which one is it? It's EYE, because I'm not talking about myself, and I have 2 eyes, so I know it must be EYE. Do you know or know if they are here yet? We just talked about this one. It's number 8. What do you think? Well, I know it's not a yes or no thing. I know it. I'm talking about something I know in my brain. I always need a K. So it's KNOW, no. I will be 8 years old in 2 days. See if you can remember the song I taught you in the beginning. EIGHT is my age. That's going to be the number you are. You guys probably know this because most of you are 8. The black bear grabbed a fish to eat. Bear or bear? The correct one there is BEAR. Bare means like with nothing on it. So if you want to say like my bare feet, that would mean like, oh, my feet don't have any shoes on. All right, now we are on the next page. You can go ahead and actually don't really need to turn it. It's right there. Please do not waste the paper. What do you think? Well, the first waste is when you're getting rid of something like a wastebasket or like, oh, don't waste my candy. And the second waste is talking about a part of your body right here. So part of your body doesn't make sense. It must be waste. That means to not use something. I got a new pair of shoes for school. Go ahead. What makes the most sense? Pair. PAIR is when you have 2 of something, like they were a pair of friends. And PEAR is the fruit. I saw the hare jump through the grass. Well, I know that HAIR is the way I talk about hair, and hair doesn't really jump through the grass. That'd be gross. So it must mean HARE. And that's something you might not know, but hare is another word for rabbit. So I know that must be right. I knew or knew the answer right away. Well, if I see a K, it must be something in my brain. So it must be KNEW. We read the fairy tale in bed. Hmm. Well, I know that TAIL is talking about like the tail of an animal, so it must mean TALE. And that's a type of story. First, dig a hole, then plant the seed. Now, the word with a W is talking about like the whole thing, like I ate that whole cake. Ew. But whole is talking about something on the ground. So, or like in your pants. So I know that it has to be whole with an H. Be sure to tie a knot in the lace. Which one looks right? Yep, it's KNOT. The other knot is like when you're saying, I will not come with you. We walked by or by the office to begin. We spent a lot of time on this particular one earlier in the year. It's by because that's giving a direction, like I walked by you. And BUY is when you're talking about purchasing something. Two more. Can you hear the owl hooting? What do you think? That's HEAR. Here, HEAR is when you're listening, and HERE is when you're saying, yep, I'm right here. Like, this is my location. Number 10, did you go to the store yet? Now, that has 3 options, but that should be pretty easy for you. Well, I know it can't be 2 because TWO is the number. 2 or 2? I know if I'm saying I want to come to, then I have to add the extra O. So it must mean just TO, 2. The way I remember this one is that if you're saying, let me come to, you have to add an extra O because you want to be with someone else. All right, cool. Now we're going to move on to the next page. This is a little funky because it starts on number 6, but that is okay. Actually, guys, I apologize. We're going to skip this page because this is all there, and there, and your packet doesn't include it. So you can just put a big X on this first 325 page. You do not need to do this one. It doesn't make sense given the packet that you have, but I will tell you that there, and there is going to be are going to be a couple of the homophones we work on in the future. So skip that page, do not fill it out, and move on to the next one. This one we have already talked about, so we're going to jump right in. We usually go to bed at 8 or 8. Got it? EIGHT. That's the number 8. My aunt or aunt let us stay up late last night. That one you can remember by the different way that you can pronounce aunt. You can say my aunt Nancy, or you can say my aunt. And I know that A you can say ah. So it's AUNT. The other aunt is like the kind of aunt that crawls on the ground. I don't think your aunt would like the aunt that crawls on the ground would let you stay up late. All right, we ate strawberries with chocolate sauce. What do you think? Is that talking about a number? Nope, it's just ATE, 8. I have no lunch today. Oh my God, my worst nightmare. Well, is that about something that you know in your brain? Nope, it's not. And if I know in my brain, I need the K. So just mean yes or no. I have no lunch today. There is a hole in my jeans. What do you think? That's HOLE, because if I have the WH word, then it's talking about like, oh, do you know the whole story? I won the game by 2 points. Well, I know BUY is when you're purchasing something, so it must mean BY, buy. I would like to have cookies with my milk. That's a tricky one because you might be thinking, I would like to have 2 cookies with my milk. But the 2 that you're replacing is I would like blank have. I would like to have. And you wouldn't say I would like to have 2 cookies. I would like to have cookies with my milk. You would say I would like to have cookies with my milk. So it's just TO, not in the number 2. Billy won the race. Billy won the race? No, that doesn't make sense. Won is the verb. That's what you're talking about. Doing something, not a number. So the answer is WON, won. Please make sure to wear a jacket outside. That's WEAR. Because if I'm asking a question like, oh, where is she? Or I know where we're going, you need H. But WEAR is just what you wear, like I'm wearing a jacket. My favorite story is The Tortoise and the Hare. Just went over this one, see if you can remember it. Yep, it's HARE, hare. That type of hair is a rabbit. The other type of hair is like the hair on your head. All right, cool. Nice job, team. Let's move on to our final one. This is actually something I'm really excited about. I'm going to give you a little extra time here. I'm going to give you about a minute to fill up, to write your own sentence here. So now, again, we skipped another page, so we're moving pretty quickly. You should be on this page right here. This is where you're coming up with your own sentences for these words, for the things that we've just been learning. And it says to use each homophone correctly. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity. You can try to use both in one sentence, but that's honestly probably going to take you a really long time. So you're going to pick one that you know what it actually means, and then make sure that it's really clear in your sentence what it should be. I'm going to model with the first one, 8 or 8. So I'm going to ask myself, okay, do I want to talk about eating in the sentence or the number 8? And my sentence has to prove to my teacher or to my parent or whoever, my family member that's checking my work, to prove that I know which word it's talking about, which meaning of the homophone it's talking about. So let's say I want to do the word ATE, 8. I'm going to make sure that my sentence shows that I understand what it really means. So how can I show 8? Talk about eating. I ate a late lunch. That tells my reader that I know that ATE is an action, not EIGHT. My other example could be I have 8 brothers and sisters. I don't, but my dad actually does. That shows my reader that EIGHT is the number, and that's and they would be able to understand that I know that based on the sentence. So when you are writing, you need to make sure that you show which meaning of the homophone you chose in that sentence. All right. So I just modeled with 8 and 8. You can take a second to write your own sentence. You only have to do one each, but I'll do one of each just to make sure that you understand and you're able to check your own work. So go ahead. You can finish up your 8 and 8. I'll set about 30 seconds on my timer. You can finish that 8 and 8 sentence right now. All right, 3, 2, 1. You should have 8 and 8. Remember, ATE is when you're eating something, and EIGHT is the number. All right, let's move on to number 2, B and B. Remember, pick one that you want to write a sentence about, and make sure that it's really, really clear in your sentence that you understand which meaning of the word, which word you're actually writing about, and that you're spelling it right. I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'll put on some calm music while you go. E or B. You have 1 minute. All right. I'm going to pause you there. You should have your sentence answered. All right. And I'm going to write mine for you now. I know be is a verb, like I hope you can be a rock star when you grow up. Oops, made a mistake. Always make mistakes. And the second one, B-E-E, is the type of bee that buzzes. I got stung by a bee. All right. Now B and B are done. You can go ahead to new and new. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. New and new. Now I know that K and EW, if there's K, it's always got to be something in my brain. So new must mean like, oh, brand new. He got a new shirt at Target. And then K and EW, no, I always knew you would be famous. I feel about most of you guys. Someday I'll be like, yep, I was their teacher. All right, nose and nose. You can use the same rule for nose that we just used there. Go ahead. It's so great to see all of you. All right, finish up in 3, 2, 1. I know that if there's a K, it's got to be something in my brain. So nose must mean this. Okay, my nose itches when I have allergies versus teacher knows if you watched her YouTube. All right. If you're on work, make sure that you got the right definition. Let's move on to red and red. Go ahead. All right, that's time. Red and red. We talked a little bit about this one before. RED is the color. My blanket is red, it really is. My blanket. And red is the same thing. You spelled the same as read. Like I read a really good book yesterday, and I really did. I'm almost done my book. All right, take a second, make sure that your definition matches mine. We have 3 more to go. You guys are doing awesome. Next one up is blue and blue. Talk about this one. Think about the cake. All right. BLUE is the color, and blue is like, ew, she blew out all the candles. So my sister wants to dye her hair blue. Wow, that was a lot of homophones. Take a second. DYE is like when you're dyeing clothes, and a hair is this hair instead of like the hair like the rabbit. Wow, nice. And then the second one is BLEW, like I blew out all my candles but one on my birthday. You can see again, I use another homophone there. ONE instead of WON because I don't win anything. I'm talking about the number 1. Okay, 2 more. DEAR and DEER. Go ahead. All right. DEAR is when we're writing a letter, or you're saying, oh dear, like, oh my goodness. Or you could also say somebody is a dear friend. That would mean they're a really good friend. So I'm going to say, what nice teeth you have, my dear. You remember what story that's from? Little Red Riding Hood. Or DEER. Remember, it's got 2 I's. You need 2 E's in the word. So DEER is the animal. There are a ton of deer on the farm. It's true. All right, sounds like we are up for the challenge. I and I. So for this one, we get a special challenge. I want you to see if you can use both homophones in one sentence. Go. All right. Finish up this last one. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm having trouble typing it here. That's okay. Okay, this last one, I asked you to challenge yourself by showing I and I in the same sentence. So you can go ahead and check yours now. I'm going to write, I got poked in the eye at recess. That shows both the I, that's like me, I, and then EYE, which again, you have 2, so you need 2 E's. I got poked in the eye at recess. All right, team. Let's take one more second to return to our word of the day. The flashlight illuminated the cave. Remember, illuminate means to light up. Hopefully, you had a great day today with all of our homophones. Today was a tricky day, but you did a really good job staying focused. And I hope you enjoyed the classical music. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have a great Wednesday.